Hello and welcome back to the show. We have another super, super, super special episode with two super special guests. And I know I always say it's a super special episode, but every time I mean it. And these guests we have here today are, yes, part of my chosen family and two people that are so very near and dear to my heart. And I want to welcome the Jethani's here. And I'm so, 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 so grateful to be here. In a moment, I'll turn it over to you to introduce yourself. But before I do that, I want to quickly just say thank you so much for everyone watching, listening. If you enjoy the show, I would so appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button below. And if you'd like to support my work, you can also buy me buy me a coffee on my Buy Me a Coffee page. Your support really means the world. All of that info is in the show notes. Greatly, greatly appreciated. But without further ado, I now want to turn it over to Sonia and Jenny to introduce themselves. And then we have a special surprise because Sonia will be doing the interview today. And it's inspired by the end. Sonia will be asking me and Jenny whatever you want to know. So I haven't seen the questions, so I'm super, super, super excited. Before I turn it over to Sonia and Jenny to introduce themselves, please also mention your pronouns. I just want to say I remember has it been like almost 2 years now? Almost 2 years. I think it was November 2023. I remember Jenny telling me, "Oh, I met someone," and I was super excited, but never, never in a million years would I have thought that you will also become part of my chosen family and such a good friend to me. Really, you've shown up for me in
So
ways.
nuts. Sorry, I had to say that. It's so it's so crazy
It
how
is
good.
crazy, huh? And I just appreciate. I'm just not just super happy for Jenny, but also just super grateful that you're in my life too. So with
Likewise.
that, I'll turn it over to you.
And I definitely feel the same on that because it's really hard out there to find people that you can grow close to, that you can trust in that way. It's just they're very rare. So I'm grateful too. So, but with that, I'm Sonia. Hi, internet world. I go by they, them pronouns, and I work in the public service. I'm just going to leave it at that. I work for the public, and I have an affinity for doing the right things and surrounding myself with people who do the same and treat others the same. Yeah, I'm very happy to be here because this was a really great idea. We should talk about how this came to be. Jenny, do you want to introduce yourself?
I
And
do.
yeah.
Um, Hi, my name is Jenny. You guys know me. I've been here before. They, them, she, just not he. And I am a preschool teacher now. Officially, when we last spoke, I was still a nanny and I was going to school and I was thinking about what I wanted to do beyond that. And it's landed here and I love it. I love where I work. And I'm just very, very happy despite everything that's going on and everything and everyone falling apart. And sometimes a little guilt with that happiness for being happy. But it's just, you know what? Fuck it. Like, I'm happy. I don't want to be guilty about that.
I will just say, I mean, seeing both of you happy and knowing, obviously, I won't tell all your stories, but knowing like so much you've been through, and yeah, how much work you're putting, like how much inner work you're doing, you deserve all the happiness in the world, and it's so great to see.
Well, thank you. Do you want to talk about how this episode came to be? Because it really was your idea.
How far back should we go though? Because this is like our lives are so much fun and interesting. So Jenny and I were doing a bet and I don't know what we were betting it on. I don't remember. Do you?
Well, we could talk about that, but I think it was a silly bet. We
What
were
was the
watching
bet?
a movie and we're not going to go into details because it's rated not for everyone. So what? No, we lost a bet about a certain way a gentleman was pronouncing a word, and it
Oh,
sounded.
right. Okay, so
Anyways,
that's
it
not
doesn't matter.
okay.
The point is, we
Yeah,
were both wrong.
we lost
We
at the
lost
same time.
together. So
So we lost that bet, and then essentially, when you lose the bet, the rule was that we would have to wear a costume just out of nowhere. It's not Halloween
like a
yet or whatever. Just
disguise.
like some sort of like, standout-ish, eccentric costume to go in public with and not explain it. And not just make like we're just normally doing this kind of deal.
So we went to Goodwill, and I got myself a graduation robe, and you found.
I guess this male Indian garb sort of situation. It was funny because I came across it and I'm Indian, and the guy that was in the cashiers was also Indian, and he looked at me in a weird way when I was buying it. Anyway, it was this whole thing. It's this a male Indian, they call it kurta, and a hat
A
that
great hat.
made me look like some sort of like CIA agent or something, like with it.
Well, it looked like you were like an older white man on vacation.
Ah,
It was mixing two worlds. It was very out of place. It didn't make sense. And I had roses on my head, and no, what did I
You
have?
look like Jesus, Jenny.
you did. You look like you were just like unhooked from the cross. And
Just in time for the rapture.
Well, it
was
on the rapture. It was on the rapture.
Right.
That was actually also my birthday. So you could
Birthday
say I'm
weekend.
Jesus part 2.
Okay. And then we called you Andrea because it had been a while since we last caught up. So we called you and then we went to hang out at the White Horse down the street. Wait, let's talk about what Andrea was wearing. You were
Oh,
wearing a
right.
wig. You looked like you had a good description of who Andrea looked
Did
like.
I?
Yes. You had this wavy. You also got hit on. You got hit on by that one person.
She was so cute. I think we should also mention we went at like
Got free
because
cookies.
we
Yeah,
went at
we
like
got
4:30 p.m.
Well, at this age, it's no. You look. You know what? Who you look like? A school teacher from the 1990s who is having a wild night out.
It's with the best.
Like a math
You guys
teacher
should
just
go
having a
to-
good time.
Y'all should go to Andrea's Instagram page. You'll see a picture of.
Oh, right. Everyone can just see it.
You guys,
I can share pictures of all of us.
oh, we should do
See, no one got a picture of me.
You sent me one in the car, I think.
Oh, did I?
I'll check again, but I think so, yeah. Yeah, it was, and we had a lot of fun. It's like, despite everything going on, it was one of those days where I was like crying about the state of the world in the morning and having fun in the evening. And I think that's how we get through these times, right?
Yes, that I think in itself is a form of protest to insist on making sure you have space for joy is very, very important, especially at this point. So there's that. But yeah, so we played pool. Remember who won? I think it was Jenny. Jenny is really good at pool.
I think it was you.
You
I
won.
think it was.
You won.
I know I didn't win.
God is better
I
than
know that.
God.
It was like
So perhaps that looked like I won
No,
because
you
your expectations were low.
You both were really good.
very impressed by Jenny. Anyway, okay, so one of us won. We went outside and we started talking about, the last time, I guess, like long story short, right? Because we all were going, we have our own stories to share, and we were catching up. And then we were talking about the podcast that you had with Jenny and Drea, and how it seemed that a lot of your viewers were very interested in that particular video of your story and Jenny's. And we were brainstorming on how we can build on that, because I think it's really important that the community feels like they belong somewhere, and that the information or whatever you want to put out there acts as a message to them that they are not alone and that outside of like the big things that are happening, it is also important that they know that there is still also the next day and the next day of the little things that we have left to hold on to. So that was very important. And so I was like, hey, why don't we talk about like what's been happening between the both of you or like separately since that time that you posted that video?
Oh, yeah, life has changed.
Life has yeah. I mean, I feel like whenever we do an episode now, it's like our lives are completely different. I heard someone say 2025 is like 10 years packed into one,
Yeah,
Whoa,
and
that's a good
it's
description.
no lie.
it's not everything has happened.
Everything is happening all at once.
Yeah. So we were talking about how important it was to us that, our community feels connected, especially now, because that's how we win this. That's how we get through this, right? So based on that video that you posted of the both of you, and you were talking about your story and how you met and where you are now and how you still, even after the divorce, maintain such a strong friendship, which is so nuts.
It
Like it really is. When I first met Jenny, and, after seeing her and everything, I thought it would be a good idea to bring this to my ex-wife and just be like, "Hey, what do you think of this?" Because like we were not in a good place. 'Cause that's part of the story too, right? I was going through a divorce and I was feeling all the things that are associated with going through the divorce, but also feeling so free and excited about like what was going on with me and Jenny and what I was seeing between the both of you and how amazing that was because it is so isolating to be, non-binary and colored and being all kinds of minority in a world like this where it is also very important for you to be surrounding yourself with good people so you don't engage in those that are being fake. So to see you guys still maintaining that friendship was relieving. And I wanted to share your story with my ex-wife to see if it was a possibility. It didn't turn out that well with that. It just like didn't turn out that way. Sometimes you just have to cut off some unhealthy things. But like still like realizing how strong you guys are and this is not a normal thing. It just made me admire you even more, Andrea. And I am also very lucky to have established this type of friendship with you. So, yeah, anyway, I just kind of went off on a tangent. I want to know now what I feel that the audience may be, also wondering. When did you post this last video? How long has it been, Andrea? And how are you doing?
So that was, I think, March. So personally, I mean, everyone's going through a lot right now. Everyone's being tested, but the last couple years and especially the last year, I had some major life lessons that really tested me. And I gotta say, you and Jenny supported me so much, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm not like I always need a bit of distance before I can talk about stuff, so I'm not gonna say what it is, but it really tested me, and it really like made me question even like staying here in California and stuff. So really tested me personally and obviously collectively. We don't even have to talk about all the things going on. And in terms of, and Jane, and I want to hear your perspective too. In terms of our friendship, it's been interesting because I know in March we talked about how we took a bit of a step back from the friendship last year. And then I think in March we were still like, it was almost like we both had changed so much that we had to reacquaint ourselves to each other and
Yes.
like start almost like a new friendship. And it
Mhm.
was really I think March the conversation was a little awkward. And I think one of the main takeaways from the March conversation was, okay, like we're not seeing each other as much anymore and stuff. But I think this time and all of the challenges we've seen individually, personally, and collectively, I think it just reminds you of what's important. And that has really strengthened our bond, not just with Jenny, but also with you, Sonia, because I think we realized, okay, instead of getting hung up on what our friendship is supposed to be like, and especially I get in my head of like, oh, Jenny has a new partner, I need to take a step back because that's kind of like what society tells us a friendship after divorce should look like. But then I think I always come back to no, it's about what feels good for us. And as long as the boundaries are strong and everyone involved is happy, there's no problem. So I think this time and all of the challenges that we've seen strengthened the bond, but in a really healthy way, because I think last year the transition period we went through and the distance we went through, I think really helped us come back to the table of a friendship and build a healthier friendship, if that makes sense. But I'm curious to hear your perspectives too.
You wanna go?
No, you have something to say.
Yeah, I think the both of you guys were very stressed out because of just over your relationship together because of your honest and sincere want to make me feel comfortable.
Yes.
Like, that was the most important for the both of you, and it almost seemed like it's just so Andrea, the way that you were talking right now, it sounded like you had an affair with Jenny. And
Oh my
now
god, no.
no, keep that, keep that, because and that's why, like, I was making those faces, and Jenny noticed, and she was like, "You got something to say." Well, it does make it sound like that, but it does a 180 at the same time because it shows how important it was for you. Like, it you were showing how important Jenny's well-being was for you as her friend. And you were also, like, showing me how important I was to you.
Yeah.
And so you wanted to remove all doubts, like, all opportunity of any sort of thing, even though it was blatant that you guys don't go together. It's just like, you're so much more than like, a sibling sort of situation than that. Like, I completely see that. But the fact that you did that without even asking me, without, like, you kind of said some stuff, um, about, like, your decisions and wanting that little break kinda deal to make sure that I thought that that was really great of you guys, and it showed, a lot of respect towards this relationship and towards yours and my relationship, Andrea. There was, like, not just a reset between you and Jenny, it was an establishment of your friendship with me, and that meant a lot. And gosh, I hope people, like, are able to do this too because it's so amazing. It's such an amazing feeling to have this type of community together. I just like I yeah, anyway. So throwing that out there. But going back to you, you were going through some hard times these past few months and, like, it was extraordinary. Um how about you? What's your story between March and now? The fact we're married, right?
Well, yeah, we got married. We got married and we kind of, we were always very serious about our relationship and our commitment to one another. So I think in both of our heads, getting married wasn't exactly like something we were in a rush to do or something that we felt like we had to do. It was something that felt very natural, like just us letting this naturally do whatever it's going to do. Because both of us are the same in the way that we don't like pretense. We don't like anything that feels forced or doing something because we feel like society thinks we should do it or that like we feel expected to do something. We want to feel like yes, this is genuine, this is real. Because both of us have been so lied to in our lives that, it's very important. And so the way it happened was very genuine. Like, it wasn't even a proposal, it was just some eye contact, and it just happened so naturally, and I was like, "Alright, let's do it, yeah, alright." And so we got married, and that really took our relationship to the next level of trust. There was a relief feeling, I don't know about you, but I
Mhm.
felt like a finally a weight's been lifted in a way. And I can't
Great.
explain completely why, but just like, all right, this is real. This is something that's real. This isn't just so wonderful that it's a fantasy or that I'm looking too deeply into it or whatever. This is we're married. So yeah, that's been happening and that happened. And this summer with, everything going on in the world and just experiencing that with everyone else and watching that unfold while I am leaving my nanny job for the last time. I'll never be a nanny again, really. And deciding to walk away from that career of almost 20 years, it was a huge step, and saying goodbye to my father this past year. That was another big thing that happened, and so it was saying goodbye. It was a very finalizing year, just a very, "This is real, this change is really happening, I can't hold back on it anymore, I need to go forward and make these decisions," and even though some of them aren't the ones I planned for myself, like, I never planned to be a preschool teacher, I thought it was something that, like, "Oh, I'm never gonna do that because of this or that." Like, now that I'm in it, it feels so right, and it makes me look back at everything else that I thought I would wanted to do or thought I wanted to be or whatever, and it makes me question, like, now, like, having all these expectations of where I wanna go, it really just solidifies that you can't know what you're gonna want in a week, in a day. Like, you might wake up and that's okay. We're so taught that we shouldn't, lean into our gut feelings about things, and we shouldn't just listen to ourselves. We're so taught in the society to follow through on something. If we say when we want something, that's it. You can't turn back. You got to follow through. And you said you wanted it. You said that's what you wanted. Where like we shame people for having hopes and dreams and not just. So anyway, so I made a choice to do something that was better financially than what I was trying to do before, and it's the best decision I ever made. I love what I do, I love my job, and it's really opening my eyes to what is possible. I'm not gonna think about what I wanna do too much in the future. I really wanna enjoy this time. And yeah, and our friendship, it really did go through a change last year. And it's I think it became something more than a friendship because we're not friends. We're really not friends. We are more family. Like, my relationship with you feels more like a sister than it would a friend. Because with friends, like, not to sound weird or crazy, but with friends, there's more of like a choice. You're making a choice. Family is just like, they're always going to be my sister. And no matter if we like each other in this moment or don't, like last year, we went through something where, but you still never stop being family to me. Even though we weren't hanging out, we weren't talking to each other as much or whatever, like, you were still my family. So after, you know, that transition from realizing we're not really friends, we're not in a relationship, we're not romantic partners. What is left? The obvious thing was we're siblings. We're siblings. We're family. And we even like talked about making a conscious choice of not calling each other anymore. Oh, this is my ex-wife. That's my ex-wife. Because that time doesn't exist anymore. It's not who we are now. We're so different than who we were then. And it was never really a true marriage. So it's like we were more like siblings. It just feels more genuine because I feel like last year we were both trying to force ourselves into what we thought. Like, we were learning as we went. There was no blueprint for how to be friends. Well, we'll say for Gwyneth fucking Paltrow, but there is no blueprint on how to be friends with your, like how to form a healthy relationship. Everything points to, and so like you were saying, for us to, hate each other or for us to like not, cut off contact. And they just feed that into you. So it's nice that we have this healthier, more genuine relationship now. And this past year, I feel like we've had more fun together, even though you've been going through a really, really hard time this past year, this past summer specifically. Also, at the same time, honestly, when we had that talk like a month or so ago, where you opened up to me about all of this, it was the first time you were truly vulnerable. And I know you've never been vulnerable like that before. Opening up about your situation and what you're going through because you've always had this idea that you needed to portray yourself as this person or that person, and just feeling safe enough to open up, it really shows that you've come a long way. I know it doesn't feel like it right now with everything going on in your life, but you're at the precipice of a new exciting place where you are going to finally start living your genuine self. And it's scary, but it's exciting too because anything can happen. And this is what I was telling Sonia. If you've been going down, 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 down so long, like you're gonna go up eventually. And so yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens and what comes out of this thing, because anytime there's something hard, really hard that happens, something amazing comes out of it. Like this past year I went through something really hard and I was in a black hole and I thought, this is it. I'm just going to have to get used to this black hole. But it's really not like that. There is an exit. It just takes a while to figure out how to get out. So yeah, that I felt really lucky that you opened up.
There's something to be said about this journey. And I think that a lot of us in the queer community have these stages because we're so damn honest. I think that's what makes us very different from a lot of people out there. We cannot help but be honest. And it's so much easier to wear a mask. It's so much easier to try to blend in because you know exactly the stripes, right? You know exactly how to act, although it's heavy. Like that's also another thing with our community. It's heavy when you don't do the right thing. And so you do it and it's easier, but it's not. It's easier with yourself. You're more at peace with yourself because Andrea, we're both very proud of you. Like the stuff that you have gone through, I only know a little bit of your story, but the stuff that you have gone through, you have to be very, very brave to get to where you are right now. And the queer community, likewise, are just very brave sets of individuals who, even though they could be persecuted by being just who they do it anyway. I have this favorite poet who escapes my I'll give you the name and then I want you to post it when you post this. But they said in one of their interviews that the closet isn't just for gay people or queer people, it's really for everyone. We were just more honest about coming out of it or the need to come out of it. And a lot of people around us are in the closet right now. And we can't. Like we can't stay in it because we have this need to be genuine to ourselves and to each other. And that's a really hard thing to do for the world. So, yeah, just throwing that out there. What do you think, Andrea?
I mean, I totally agree. First of all, I want to say, like, to both of you individually, knowing how much you've been through in your lives, and I know the last couple years have been more than challenging for both of you, and the life you're building for yourself now. It makes me so proud to be part of your chosen family. Like, it's inspiring, it's motivating, and I'm just so grateful to have you in my life. And yeah, in terms of the challenges I've been through this summer, I'll definitely do an episode about it once I'm on the other side of it. But it also, it was not fun to go through that. And I'm still working on certain things. But it really like, yeah, opening up to you. I mean, just think about it over the last year. It was a lot of me sitting in your garden with you and just bawling my eyes out. And it went from last year, not ready to talk about that yet either, but last year going through a situationship that I read way much into and having my heart broken. And then I remember thinking, oh, here's my rock bottom moment. To then this year, the universe being like, sorry, but there's more.
There's more space in this hole.
There's- it goes deeper.
Gives you a shovel.
And I remember before I opened up, there was a time when I felt so alone. And that was all in my head. And then opening up to you and just your support and like you showing up for me in ways that I've never asked people to show up for me because I'm super, super, super independent. I learned so much about myself. And it's also for someone, and I'm sure you can relate to that, for someone who's very hyper independent, and my life has made me very hyper independent where I feel like I don't want to ask anyone for help. I want to do everything by myself. Asking for help and then seeing it being received in a way that was way beyond I could have ever expected. It really made me change my perspective on things, and it really made me more comfortable opening up. So that's something, no matter where, because you never know how friendships develop, no matter where a friendship goes. I mean, that is something I will think about on my deathbed
Oh god.
because no, I mean, I'm serious. I'm sure I'll think
Oh,
about
I
that
know you're
because it meant
serious,
so
but
much to me.
Jesus, Mary and
But, like,
Joseph,
y'all know where that comes from, right? It's because
when I
all of
die.
us, though, none of us actually grew up with people who we could trust. And when we did try, because we probably did throughout our, young lives, we would get shut down. When we did try to, like, reach out for help, there might have been situations where we got shot down by people whose jobs it was to protect us.
Mhm.
That's where it comes from, that it takes so much for you to ask for help, that it's just so like, it's such a thing for you to receive it. And I'm saying it for myself too, because I have that struggle and you do too.
Yes.
We both went through
Mhm.
that situation this past year where it was like, okay, to be vulnerable to each other. What is that really? Like, that in itself was a journey. And yeah, it's not normal to not have a support because we're humans, and scientifically we're only strong if we are together, right? Like, that's, even science says that those species that melted away weren't in a unit like this. So I think that's also like a theme that we have to strengthen ourselves into understanding if we're going to make it, is have the grace to understand that people are human, and that they are weak kind of deal. They're human and they're weak. And we are not built to face all of these things all together all the time. I think it is important that we continue to be vulnerable to each other. I think that's where it is. Um,
It's true.
because some hard things are still coming up. It's going to be harder, especially for our community and communities of color. And how we beat it is to do outreach like this and to tell people that they're not alone, and come be a part of our community if you need to, or be a community, like create some, reach out to each other, because the likelihood of them, whoever you reach out, that they need that is pretty high right now.
Just one thing about the community aspect that you mentioned, it's so true. Like, first of all, this summer showed me no one's alone. I can get into that place just based on like childhood experiences and life experiences. I can go to that space real quick. It's like a vicious cycle of not reaching out to people and then also telling myself, "Oh, I'm so alone." But
Yeah.
yeah, no one's alone. You have community, and if you're going through something, reach out because people want you to reach out, and that's what I learned from that experience. Like, you were glad I reached out.
That was
I
so
felt so
sweet.
weird and I felt shame and all of that. And you seemed glad I reached out. And that really showed me so much about just our friendship, chosen family, and community. And the other thing I want to say about community real quick is I'm continuously continuously amazed about the resilience and strength of our community. And I'm I said in another episode, becoming part of the community, coming out as a lesbian and then now as queer, and being part of the queer community and the trans community. Even though like initially coming out, I felt so much shame. I'm so proud to be part of this community. It's really changed my life and made me a way better person. I know I talked to Jenny once, and Jenny said to me, "You will be such an annoying white straight woman." And I actually agree. I actually agree. So it's
Was that
made me a better person.
your dinner at the bar? Was that you straight?
No, I think I will probably have a different style.
That's so.
That's the mom version of me. I mean, that vest is the bomb.
Y'all should check out that Instagram.
I'm gonna post some pictures
I just want to
for sure.
say, you said you felt shame for reaching out and that I was happy you reached out. And it was making me think, yes, people are happy when someone else reaches out through having a hard time and they reach out to you and want your help and advice. Because not only it feels good to like help someone, but also it puts things into perspective that you, like I myself, am not alone in the struggle of life. I'm not the only one going through hard times and myself needing to reach out to other people. So it reminds you that you are not weak. You are normal. This is normal. This is just part of life. It's not like something you hold shame for. It's something we all go through struggles and all go through things where we need to reach out to someone else. And also looking at weakness is not a negative thing. When we say weak, it automatically conjures up negative thoughts and feelings. And weakness is not a negative thing. Weakness is a fact. We are factually, as humans, weak, fragile beings in every single way. But that's not a bad thing. It's just part of our makeup. And you can't be strong without being weak first. So, yeah, there's nothing to be ashamed of. That's all I wanted to add.
And I think that's where that message is, how important it is to have community. And I kind of want to put a plug in there if at some point you could share our nonprofit's website,
Who
um,
you are now a part of,
which you are now,
Yes.
right?
our chief storyteller right there.
So our website will have our contact information. If you would like to be a part of it, we would love to have you, right?
All the
So
yous.
all of yous.
You and you and
Um,
you.
we are based in
Yeah.
Berkeley and Oakland. And I think, it was just so great to go to White Horse, to just be with community, even during the day. There were these queer partners. We saw a couple who gave us a cookie. Like we had
Free
cookies
cookies.
It was
from
so
those
cute.
two. They were so cute, and though they were really good at pool.
They were watching. I
Like,
was nervous.
they
They were
were
watching us like
laughing
a
at
hawk.
us. But I think that's a really good. I think we should do stuff like that.
I want to go play pool again.
Yeah, we should do that again
Mhm.
because it was
Yes.
fun, and we should make friends. We should meet people,
We should make
and
it a thing.
Yes.
A Tuesday night, or no, was it Sunday? Sunday night,
We went on a Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Saturday. Well, it wasn't really a night, like the
It
thought
was decent.
Late afternoon.
it was a great time, and I think we should do more of that and be
Yes.
out there
Yes.
because we are out there. We're here. Not gonna do that rhyme sort of situation. But yeah, this was really great. I wonder what will happen in the next couple of months when we look back. I wonder if we will have the courage to be able to tell our stories, including mine.
I always need some distance before I share
Yeah.
Some
widely.
things not everybody's
Not everybody's business too, but
No, 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 no.
um
Your business.
I think there's a theme though. I think everybody's going through something. And I think that those who are perpetrating some of these somethings are feeling a lot more brazen, a lot more fueled because they think that it is okay to act in the way that they act
Uh-huh.
because of how things are. And so it makes it all the more worse for our people, our community. And I come from a lot of communities. I'm including all the communities.
Actually, you're almost a member of all of them.
Yeah. But yeah. So some people are thinking that it's okay to treat others this way when it is still not, it's never been okay. And for as long as we have the courage to speak up and stand our ground, which is our culture, right? We come from really strong people who have done so many amazing things that allowed us to be here today, alive, and who we are. Had those people not done the things that they'd done, we would not be like this either. So it's kind of our jobs to continue that. That's our culture, and you can't mess with that culture. No matter what they do. We're very resilient, and we're going to keep doing this, and we're going to keep speaking up, and you're not alone. So I hope that people hear us and, are paying attention, and especially in the message that, you're not alone in this. So,
You're really not.
what's a funny or unexpected part of your friendship that feels uniquely chosen family?
I mean, there's so much, but every now and then I think back about because I think we've been in California now for a little over 4 years,
Crazy.
which is crazy to think. But every now and then I think back about our life in DC. It almost feels like a different lifetime. It feels so far away.
Horror
And
movie.
then I think about, oh my God, what would the DC versions of us think right now if they could see a recording of our lives right now? Because
Probably
it's so wild
goddamn.
how how far we've come. And also like what makes it so unique is that because I always thought like friends is something you meet someone, you get along, and then you're friends. But friendship, as any other relationship, takes a lot of work. And I
So
think what's so unique, and that's why we're in such a good place, is that, and I'm not just talking about my friendship with Jenny, but with you, Sonia, too. Like, we're open to doing that work. We're open to going through the messy parts, talking about messy things. Like, can we talk about that?
fast.
And I think that's what makes it so unique. And I think that's also a message that I want to get out there is like, I think it's also really easy to look at our pictures together and say, oh my God, they're having so much fun. And it
Woo.
seems like such an easy process. It's, it's a process. And there were times like right before our divorce when we didn't know which direction we're going. Jenny and I couldn't even be in the same room together for a while. I remember, Jenny, you would sometimes go sleep at a hotel or at an Airbnb because I was such a pill. And
Oh, well, whoa, whoa. We were a pill. Like, it took a lot of therapy and a lot of legal drugs to get us out of that.
those edibles.
You know what also makes y'all unique? Like I noticed this about you guys that's hilarious, right?
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, when we go hanging out, like we go to a sniff spot for our dogs or whatever. Um,
Let's clarify what a sniff spot is because some people who don't have dogs might have no idea what we're talking about, like a sex thing.
it's a yard you can rent for your
That's where
dog.
I was
It's an air.
going.
What
You
the
didn't even
hell,
let me get in the car
consensual?
to that thought. It's a
It's an Airbnb for dogs, but it's just a backyard. And then
but the
because
name
you
itself, it like inspires
can
images.
It is a weird
right
name.
fire
No, I'm not.
images.
Why would I try that? Anyway, let's get back to it.
You know when you have people who come and hang out and you're just like acquaintance friends, right? Like not deep sister family friend kind of deal where you can just like say whatever you feel like, right? The acquaintances, they can overstay their welcome.
Mm,
They can just you stay hell it and so you're already done, you're tired, you cooked and like it's tiring now kind of deal. The dogs are barking,
get
you're done. So the both of you, like when you got that to that level where you're just tired now, you can just be like, okay, bye, Andrea. And that's it. And then she's like, yeah, bye, and just leaves, and then you're good. And to me, I'm just like, the first time I saw that, I was like, why would you do that to
You don't have
Andrea?
to go home, but you can't stay here. And
Yeah,
I love you.
yeah.
Yeah, but and it's like it's a boundary thing. And I will also say Jenny doesn't say like, "Oh, get out."
It's just very blunt and to the point.
It's very blunt.
Like, I'm tired and I think we're done.
And for me, one of the big lessons out of the last year is that I can't have people in my life that are unclear with me. It creates a lot of anxiety for me.
Yes.
So the more direct someone is with me, the more I actually trust them. Because I can't do the reading subtext and wondering like,
Can't
But
either.
that's from our parents, you guys, right? So that's like from our boomer parents who try to make it so that you're telepathic, right?
yes,
You're
yes,
you read people, and that's why we're hyper vigilant too. I can read people very well because I've had to do that when I was growing up. But it sucks because you can get it wrong,
Yes.
right? And so the way that you are with together like that, when you're just like, okay, bye, we're gonna go sleep now, we're just tired. It just shows a lot of respect. It's like it comes from a family thing. That makes you guys a family
But,
thing and not
honey, I do that with everyone.
a friend thing.
I'm curious to see what you have to say about our,
About
our
what?
friendship.
Well, it's so blatant what makes you guys so unique. Y'all were married.
Yeah, I guess that's
That's
true.
pretty
I
much.
always think that that's the biggest thing that we managed to like. This is a breakthrough. This is revolutionary love. This is revolutionary family, the way that nobody necessarily sees it normally. You're in a room, okay? You walk into a boardroom, all right, Andrea, and it's a long table, like, and there are like these seats or whatever. And on these seats are like all the versions of yourselves in your life up until you keel over kind of deal, right? So when you were 7, when you were 12, when you were 18, 19, like, or like when you're 30, and then there's future you after you have seen and done everything. Like when I picture my future me, I picture my therapist who is like really old. Like she's like up there, right? And right after my divorce, for example, I asked her, this is it, right? I've learned everything. Like there's nothing else I have to learn, right? Like I know it all now. She laughed and she's like, oh, honey, there are just so many more things. So you are asked a question. Um, you that final version of you is asked this question. Okay. If you fully trusted that everything is going to be okay, What would you do right now?
Ugh, I love that question. And I mean, it's so interesting because this summer I was really like going within to think about my next steps, and I felt drawn back into like professionally, I've really felt drawn back into just reverting to my old life. And I think it's so interesting because this question comes like right at that time where I let go of that old life and I'm like step by step stepping into that new life. But I think I would say myself, yeah, don't give up on the dreams in your heart
Mhm.
because those dreams also led me here to California. I mean, obviously, I didn't dream about being in California at this difficult moment in history, but it led me to a place where I feel like home. It led me to my people. And so I would say, yeah, don't give up.
And then what would you do next?
That's
Knowing that
an in
it's gonna be okay, knowing that everything is going to be okay, what would you do next?
I
Sandal.
would continue because for me, I always have that battle going on between my head and my heart of like my heart telling me to go this way and my head telling me no, like that's the more reasonable way to go. And no matter if it's like relationships or professionally or all other aspects, I always have that battle going on. But I would say to myself, follow your heart because I've learned from my life lessons that if I don't do that, those lessons are just gonna catch up with me months or years later. I can't escape them.
I'm gonna ask myself that question. I think I would write a lot more. I would do more poetry. I would go to open mic nights, and I would do a lot more spoken word. If I knew that everything was going to be okay, I would stop having to worry so much and putting, like, so much energy into worrying because it takes a lot out of you. Like, your anxiety and your fears takes a lot of space,
Yes.
and I think that if I knew that everything was going to be okay, I would breathe in a more stable manner, right? And just, like, maybe get a cup of coffee and open that gate sometimes and just sit there and watch people pass by.
Can I also just quickly say maybe one action item is so because I know we both wanna do an open mic night. Maybe one action item can be us finding an open mic night or organizing our own.
We should do that, yeah. If anybody is interested in that.
Oh, yeah. Creative Pathways Collective at Instagram.com or
Yes.
.org,
Yeah,
you know?
creativepathwayscollective.org. Check out our Instagram. Yeah, it would be great to have a story time. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be, slam poetry or whatever, right? Like, or if you have poems, come and share that. But story time would be great. People coming and sharing their stories would be a great time. But, a schedule, please let's not make it late nights because we all have, like, I know between all of us, we like to sleep early.
Let's normalize 4:30 PM as being like an open mic night time.
Because it's technically
Night
evening, right?
Open even we can change them to open evening.
or
Open
open late afternoon. Oh,
Early evening, yeah, open mic afternoon.
that's a better
a brand new thing. Thank you so much. This was such a great conversation, and I really hope both of you come back soon. And especially Sonia, I know today you asked me a lot of questions, and I hope we can have you back and ask you some questions because you
Totally.
have so many interesting stories. And then also real quick, so before first of all, thank you again so much for joining, but do you just briefly wanna mention I know you mentioned the Creative Pathways Collective. Can you mention again where to find,
Yeah,
your awesome organization and also where people can find you if you're up for sharing that?
sure. So our nonprofit has an Instagram handle. It's Creative Pathways Collective. And then you can find our website at creativepathwayscollective.org. And I think the email address is over info at creativepathwayscollective, one word,
It's on the
.org.
website. There's everything on there.
So we're new.
Yeah.
We're brand new. In the past we hosted poetry slam or open mic for our friend who was battling cancer. And then we held some art sessions for the community. And we're open to other ideas or even a get together with the community where we could just talk about things and be humans together. Reach out and we'll do something. Yes.
Yes. I know Jenny Jenny says Jenny's done with the conversation and
Well, I've just got to use the ladies' room.
It's
no,
the
yeah.
goodbye.
It is the Irish goodbye. It's where I can show you guys right now what they were talking about earlier.
The Irish goodbye. She's gonna do it.
All right.
All right.
This has been so great, guys, everyone, but I really have to use the bathroom because I drank.
Love you both so
Bye.
much.